Welcome to the Defense and Aerospace Report. I'm Vago Muradian here in Doha, Qatar, where we're covering the Doha International Maritime Defense Exhibition and Conference, DIMDEX 2018. And our coverage here is sponsored by DIMDEX 2018, and we're here on the Patria stand, Finland's Patria, leading maker of guns and armored vehicles, and we're here with Patria Jokinen, whose area of responsibility is vast, that includes this region and also North Africa. Petri, thanks very much for the time, and I wanted to ask you, give us an update on what your priority markets here, first what you're doing here in the Qatar market, where everybody is here and showing off their wares, but also in the Middle East. What are the products that you guys have that are most attractive in this region?
In this region, we are marketing and promoting our absolute high-end products, them being the 8x8 armored vehicle and motor systems. We have several systems, land-based and naval versions of that too. And a brand new motor system was launched here in Middle East last year, and we do have a picture of it. It's a Nemo container, which is highly mobile and versatile. You can pick it on a truck, just a military truck, and you can put it on a boat for the naval use. Our main interest is the Gulf area, and we are also actively studying the North African market for opportunities.
Which we've discussed is one of those growth opportunities you're looking at. What are you focusing here specifically on the Qatar market? Because the country is very, very eager to build up its own defense industries. We're going to be talking to the folks at Barzan, which is the holdings company from the Ministry of Defense that's striking all these partnerships, and I know you guys have been in conversations with them as well. Talk to us about what you think is going to be most attractive here in Qatar.
Here in Qatar, we have been here testing with the customer for 4 years and developing our systems in the desert conditions. Right now, the main focus might be in the motor programs. We have been competing in 8x8 program too, and I think we will hear some solution and decisions this spring.
One of the big challenges for all of the companies, and whether you're an armored maker or gun maker or even missiles or anything, is every one of the customers around the world wants to be able to do this work at home.
Right.
And you guys pride yourself on your engineering, but you're also a smaller country, and so the work that's being done in your factories is something very important from a Finnish worker's perspective and also a Finnish government perspective. How do you strike that balance, especially as a smaller country and a smaller company that's competing on global markets against companies that are much larger? How do you strike that balance about what you keep at home, but what you can share?
I think we have found a business model that actually creates a good balance on that issue. We do have a factory in home base in Finland, but it's modeled and scaled down to be a model factory. And the struggle between the remote locations, remote production lines and home base isn't as big as you would think. We in Patria see that actually it's an element that creates the balance, because the fluctuation on the resource load is not as big in the home base, because much of the work is done in the remote production lines abroad. And I was talking about the high-end products, but you could put it this way, that the absolute high-end product of Patria is a factory. It's a domestic capability, industrial capability of the customer country to create the jobs and to create the systems in country. And the effect in Finland with this business model isn't as big as one could think.
Last year you guys celebrated your 100th birthday.
Right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
On your first 100 years. I was joking with somebody that folks are going to be celebrating your many, many birthdays over the coming centuries. But talk to us a little bit, as the company transitions and celebrates that key milestone, where are you guys investing? Where do you see the future of these markets? What's the feedback you're getting from customers around the world where you're, again, competing against companies that are much, much larger, whether it's KMW, Nexter, or Rheinmetall, or all of these companies, have a lot of horsepower and they're much, much bigger companies, but you guys have always been innovators in the market. Where are you guys placing your bets? Where do you see the future of the market, and what's the feedback you're getting from customers?
We absolutely see the future, and also the feedback from the customers around the digitalization of the systems. So that's going to be another strong point of a Finnish company. And we are pretty far in digitalizing the 8x8 vehicle and make it talk to the weapon system and all the other subsystems very fluently. And I'm happy to invite you to Eurosatory this summer to see actually what I mean. We have a 8x8 with a big theme about digitalization in France this summer.
We are going to be at Eurosatory, and we would love to take you up on that invitation because it's a terrific show. And what about on the vehicle side? I mean, do you see yourself sticking with the classic 8x8, which has been a very, very popular product for you guys, or do you see sort of a branching out and an adaptation? I mean, you know, as you look past that, say 5 or 10 years, what are the kind of systems you see that, you know, I was talking to some of the folks here about, you know, focus on autonomy, but they're going to let commercial industry develop that technology and mass produce it before they put it in military vehicles. But where do you see from that, you know, you guys have led on gun systems, you've led on vehicles. Where do you see some of those trends going, you know, as you look, say, 5, 10 years down the road?
I can tell you what we don't see the trend going, and we don't see the future being only combat between heavier and bigger and more expensive vehicles. Right now we are studying the low end of the demand too. So I'm talking about the lighter vehicle, most cost-effective vehicle, and 6x6, and we are going to launch that in Paris this summer too. So there's going to be at least 2 vehicles there and 2 launching ceremonies.
That's fantastic. Petri, thanks very, very much. Congratulations on your first 100th birthday, and thanks so much for spending time, and we look forward to seeing you in Paris.
Yes, thank you.